Hey, what's up, Crypto Army? I'm Travis, your crypto newbie, bringing you my experiences so you have to learn things the hard way. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of my content should be viewed as financial advice. If you like what my content offers, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications so you get notified when I publish new content. It really helps the channel grow and get the content to others that might like it. Today we're going to take a look at Crypter Token. Crypter Token launched about a week and a half ago in October, and it's a relatively new token, obviously. So it's got a relatively small holder base, and then it doesn't have Lunar Crush, and it doesn't have a lot of the fundamentals we're looking at. So it's probably not going to get the highest score because it is fairly new. But there's some other things that also drag its score down. So we're going to cover that in today's fundamental analysis of Crypter Token. Crypter Token launched on the BSC network, so it's going to have those low fees that we love to see, rather than the Ethereum network. It had 1 quadrillion tokens at launch. So let's start off with taking a look at their website. Now their website looks pretty good. It's unique. It's got some high quality graphics on it. It's got their Telegram, their Twitter, the white paper, the buy button up here. There's no how to buy information for potentially new investors that have never invested in crypto. And again, that's one of those things I look for because there are a lot of new investors trying to get into crypto right now, and they don't know how to buy using PancakeSwap. So you got to give them the information on how to buy. But they do have a direct buy button here that will take you over to PancakeSwap. But if you don't have a wallet and you've never used PancakeSwap before, this is going to be an interesting experience for somebody that's new. Right here, they've got the Try Sifter button. That'll open up their social media platform. That's their unique usage case for this particular platform. Is it's social media. So think Facebook, think Twitter, but think connected to crypto. So it's an interesting approach, and you're going to see some parallels between this project and Evergrow Coin. So if you like Evergrow Coin, this might be something that you're interested in as well. Now let's go ahead and keep digging down in the website. Again, I like their page because it's specific to their token. They don't have graphics on it that don't really mean anything, like a lot of projects these days do. You can see here that they're showing what their system's going to look like. So it's a specific graphic design for their project, and that's one of the things that makes it a little unique from other websites. It's not just a standard template. It might just be a template website, but they've made it their own. So let's go scroll down here before we hit the white paper. Their plan is to monitor the social media platform. They kind of see it as a social media platform geared towards crypto. So a lot of the discussions that you're going to find on this platform potentially are going to be crypto related discussions, which is an interesting take on things. I suspect it'll cover a lot of other stuff as well, but it's going to have a focal point on crypto. So if you want to find more information about specific cryptos, you want to see what's new, what's up and coming, this might turn into the place to go for those discussions, because right now there really isn't a social media dedicated towards the crypto space. Reddit gets a lot of activity, but there really isn't a specific forum for talking about cryptos. Now, Discord is usually specific to the project. Telegram is as well. So again, this is kind of a nice niche that they've got for their particular project that stands them apart from a lot of other projects that are out there. Now let's go ahead and keep scrolling down here. Here's an interesting aspect. So again, very similar to some play to earn games that are out there. Now we're looking at engagement to earn. So being active on the platform earns you tokens. Again, there's some unique aspects to this project that should grab your attention because we haven't really seen a lot of these in other projects. And let's keep going. They're working on building a portfolio tracker. I suspect this will be kind of similar to what Evergrow's DApp kind of looks like, where it shows you the rewards tracker. I think that's kind of what we're going to be looking at for what this portfolio tracker looks like and how it functions. But that's not coming out until 2022. Again, this project is only about a week and a half old, and it has under 8,000 holders right now. So you really are getting in early on this project if you like the fundamentals for it. So the tokenomics. Again, we're going to see some similarities here. 8% BUSD rewards. So if you like that Binance pegged USD, you get the 8% again. Here's where things differ a little bit. It's a 15% total fee for their tokenomics for buys and sells. 3% for marketing and 2% for development is a lot, and that's not a lot for the liquidity pool, so it's entirely possible that they're going to have some liquidity pool issues. I'd like to take a look at one of their AMAs and see whether they're planning on potentially changing these up a little bit as they go or as the need arises, or if they've even got the potential to do that. As some of you have noticed, Evergrow does do that. They shift things around to make sure that they've got enough liquidity, or that they're getting stuff into their marketing budget. So they are doing that. You're going to see they don't have a buyback process on this one. So that's a little bit different here as well. And there's no mention of the burn on their website. But we'll get all that a little bit later on. They've got a roadmap. And then as you can see for Q3, they're completely done, got everything done. And that's really the website design, the logo, and their smart contract creation. So really what we're looking at now is really what they're talking about for Q3. For Q4, you're going to start seeing YouTube promotions. There's not a lot of YouTube out there. There's only a handful of videos. There's no dedicated channels from what I could tell. But there are some people that are doing YouTube videos on this project. Launch of an Android app, iOS app, their Windows app, and then the email, and then their PooCoin ads. What's interesting is when we get over to the Q1 stuff, so some of the stuff next year, an ad platform, not a lot of information on what that's going to look like. Chain Quest, they can assume is some sort of a game. They're engaged to earn platform. And then you can see that they're looking at developing their portfolio tracker, and then their Crypter version 2. I'm not exactly sure why they need to take a look at version 2 already. Again, we'll take a look at some of this stuff in their white paper as well. And you can see they've got it's a good roadmap. Now, they've got a pretty good amount of stuff that they haven't completed, so for right now it's pretty good. But I suspect we're going to ask a lot of questions about Q2 probably by the end of next month. And if we keep going, that is the end of their website. So what you'll notice if we scroll back up to the top, that's their entire website, and there's a couple pieces missing. Where's the audit? There's no mention of it anywhere. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you know the audit is kind of a big deal. How do you know your money's not going to get stolen? How do you know it's not actually going to be a rug pull? The rug pull prevention is in the social media to ensure that you're not talking about projects that are likely to be rug pulls. How do you know that the security of the contract is going to prevent rug pulls? So that's a big red flag. The other big red flag is there's no mention of their team anywhere on this website. And it's not on their white paper, which we'll take a look at in a second here. That's a huge red flag. So you've got no security audit, and you've got no mention of the team. Your spidey sense should be going off right about now. This, based off of those two criteria, mean even if I was to invest in this project, it would be a lot less than, say, Evergrow. That would be how I would treat that information. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. You have to do your own research and weigh the risk of the project versus the potential benefits and the upside. Now let's jump into their white paper. Again, I like the graphics. They did a good job. I could see this being an NFT in the future because it's actually not too bad of a design for a NFT. Now it's version 2. I don't know what version 1 looked like. I didn't check this project out when it first launched. And you can see here again, they don't have their team, which is always a challenge for me. They also don't talk about their security audit. And if we go through this, a lot of it is very similar to their website, so we will go through this pretty quick. It's only about 11 pages long, so there's not a lot of information in here that isn't already on their website. They do talk a little bit about why they wanted to stand this token up, and it's about rug pulls and preventing rug pulls for people that are out there, because if you've been in this space for a while, more than likely you've been the part of a rug pull. I've got a video on here about losing my money on Phantom. That's not necessarily a rug pull, but I have had rug pulls that I've lost money on. Usually those are the projects that I am more skeptical about, and there isn't a security audit, which this one doesn't have. There isn't a lot of information about the development team. This project doesn't have. So you can see why those are some really big indicators for me. I have never had a rug pull on a project where the development team was known and there was a security audit. Take that for what it's worth. Again, I'm giving you my experiences so you can kind of judge on the content I provide and what you deem to be acceptable risk when you make your investments. Because again, I'm not a financial advisor. You have to do your own research and make your own decision on whether this is a project or anything that I tell you about on my channel is a project you're interested in investing in. So let's keep going. So anyway, they open up and kind of talk to you about why they wanted to do this token. Now, here's an interesting part, and I did highlight this part here. They did burn 5%. Now, that information is helpful on the website because, again, not every investor is going to go take a look at the white paper. They're going to look at the website, and from the website, they're going to decide, okay, maybe I'm thinking about investing in this. Then I'll take a look at the white paper. It's not every investor is going to take a look at everything that you've got and make a decision based off of all of your content. They're generally going to make a quick snapshot decision solely based off your website. So the better that is, the more likely you're going to get them into your white paper. So the relevant information really needs to be on the website, and 5% burned is relevant. They've got 1 quadrillion tokens. 5% is a pretty small amount, and there's no other information in this about the burn. And that's a relevant factor for considering what is the potential for this project, what is the long-term potential for this project, how long will it take to get to where you're looking for. All relevant information to consider when you're looking at these projects. Now, it does talk about how they broke everything up. Pretty standard information. There's nothing really that stands out in any of this information. We already read about the 8% that goes for the Binance Peg USD, and then their breakdown of how their fee gets redistributed, some of their core values. They put a preference on the community, which is good because most of these tokens rely heavily on community engagement. If you've been tracking any of my Saitama content, that's another community-driven project that's had incredible growth the last couple days. Even over the last month, it's been pretty non-stop. It looks a lot like it's going to the moon right now. I want to say it's up 1,500-ish percent, 2,000% since when I learned about the project. So it's doing pretty well. That's the benefit of community. Shiba Inu is another great one. It's got a huge community that propels that token forward. That's incredibly important for most of these new tokens, is having that strong sense of community and building that community out. And it's a social media app essentially based on crypto, so they kind of have to have the social media. They say they're going to stand by their project as long as there's a community, but how much do they really stand by their project that they didn't dox themselves? Now, there's a whole bunch of projects that likes to launch and say, well, we're going to dox ourselves once we get to this point or that point. Well, if you stood by your project, you dox yourself in the beginning so that the people know that you're serious about the project, because there's nothing tying you to this project right now. That's how I look at it. You can pull all your tokens out tomorrow and nobody's going to know who you are. And then you could stand up another token and do the exact same thing over and over and over again. That's why I don't put a lot of stock in tokens that don't dox themselves. Because how vested are they in the longevity of the project if you're not willing to put your face out there in your name and say, I stand by this? That's why I'm a huge fan of Saitama. That's why I'm a huge fan of SafeMoon. I'm a huge fan of Evergrow, because they put their reputation on the line with those projects. That says a lot. This project, not so much. Now, if I get comments for this particular video that say, well, they came out on social media or they did this or this, it's not the same as putting it on the website. That's just my take, and that's how I assess tokens. You can love it or hate it, but I put a lot of stock on doxing your team when you launch the token. Now, I don't need to know the entire team. Who's in charge? Who's the CEO? Who's the CTO? Who's doing some of the development? Who are the key players in this project? And stand behind the project that you're building. That's what I look for. And that's my recommendation for what you should look for as well. Again, it's on the Binance Smart Chain, which is great because it keeps those fees low. I'm going to be focusing a lot more on the Binance Smart Chain just because it is lower fees and it's a better use of your money. There's a lot of stuff on the Ethereum network, but you end up paying these ridiculous fees. If I see something that's really good on the Ethereum, obviously I'll cover it, but there's a lot of stuff on the Binance side that's good as well. I'm going to pay more attention to those and then potentially Solana-based projects as well, because those are almost zero fees. So far that's the lowest fees out there. Now let's keep going on with this white paper here. Again, their real focus is on the social media aspect of this, kind of creating, like I said, that Facebook interface there. And then we get into the ecosystem of what they're trying to do, the portfolio tracker, the sniper bot. This is interesting. So be the first to purchase new listings. This will be available for the top 200 to 500. Now remember that, top 200 to 500. I'm sure you're all thinking, well, how much do you have to invest to get to the top 2 to 500 to get access to this? Good question. And some of the other stuff, wallet integration, Android, iOS, social media. So a lot of this stuff is on their website as well. Now there's a little bit more information about Chain Quest, which is a fighting game similar to Tekken or Street Fighter, which is good. Klekai, as an example, is probably a good game for in the car, sitting at the doctor's office, that kind of stuff. A Street Fighter game, in my opinion, is a little bit more utility, but it might not have the same kind of audience as Klekai would. Generally, a lot of people like those kind of Klekai games. Angry Birds, those are the kinds of games that seem to get a lot of people that download them and use them. Street Fighter, Tekken, there's a niche for that, and there are a lot of people that like those, but it's not nearly as many as somebody that does Angry Birds. That seems to get billions of people that like those particular games. As far as their social network, the idea that you can do streaming, a marketplace similar to Facebook, referral system for rewards, which is kind of interesting. And that's really it. That's all that's in their white paper. And this is good. It's not a bad white paper. It tells you what you need to know. It tells you a lot of the same information from the website. I would just pull a couple of those key points like the burn and that kind of stuff out. But you noticed there isn't any kind of burn mechanism. Now this is their actual social media interaction website. It won't let me register. If I click the button, nothing ever happens. It just kind of stays there. And I've been waiting for a couple minutes, and I've been trying this on and off all through the day, and it never does anything. So I don't think this is working. An interesting thing here is that it's got a GG for its domain. I'm not familiar with that particular country, but it isn't a US based, or it's not one of your common domain names. And, oh, there you go. So connection is timed out. So that's what I've been getting with this particular website trying to register. So I can't dig into what the experience is. If you're interested, I'll put the link again in the description. You can go check it out. Maybe it'll start working later, but it doesn't work for me. Now it's possible, because this is in a different country, that it's a country that maybe from the US you just can't get to. It's possible. There are some domains that are a challenge to get to from the US. Not many, but I don't know. I don't have an. If you're part of this development team, you might want to take a look at the website. So this isn't working for me. So let's take a look at the price action for a second. So you can see that we are the 0.0 or the 0.701392 price, and you can see that after it initially stood up. Now it actually started a couple days before this, so we're only seeing a couple days back. It launched, I want to say 3 or 4 days before this, before it was on CoinMarketCap. But you can see that the price was going up, and I want to say, as far as this chart is concerned, it was really closer to down here when it started. I don't remember the exact number, but it's lost to zero since it launched. And you can see that it made it all the way up into the 4212 range, and it's coming back down. It's still kind of new. This is actually fairly similar to most projects. Evergrow has been a little bit different, where it continued to go up and kind of stayed up, and it goes around a little bit, but this one's bounced back down significantly since it's launched. But that's pretty much where we are currently for its price action. Potentially it's a good time to invest because it's still low, if this is something that you're interested in investing in. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the holders, and again we'll just hit the explorers to do that. And let's have 4 sevens. So that one will be easy to remember for our analysis. But less than 10,000 addresses. So again, very new on this project. And if you look at some of the other projects in comparison that I've covered on this channel, you can see what the potential is for this project if it does take off and we start getting into the 90,000 addresses or the 30,000 addresses, what potential price point we're at with this particular project. Now this project doesn't have a Lunar Crush score, so we can't put that information on here. So we're pretty much done, and we'll talk through the use case and some of the target market for this one as we go through and fill this out. You can see it's currently at an F. Did I find the website visually appealing? Yes, I thought it was pretty good. It doesn't look like most other websites that use a cookie cutter approach, and it seemed like it was tailored to the actual crypto. There wasn't any specific spelling errors that I saw. I didn't see any grammar issues on the website. There's some things that certain people would call grammar errors, but they weren't the type of thing that would stand out to the average person, unlike some of the other examples I've used on here. So I'm going to list it as no, but there were, between the white paper and the website, there were some interesting stylistic approaches that if you were writing a paper for a class, it would probably get a check mark as it didn't lose a point here or something like that. But very minor and very sparingly throughout the website and the white paper. Website error, it didn't work for their social media platform, so there is an error there. Team is not listed, contact method no, security audit is not listed. Now interestingly enough, and this goes back to keeping your website up to date, they are in the process of doing a security audit, but in order to find that out, you have to go to Twitter. Your website is your first opportunity to get investors. Put the information on there, keep your website up to date, because that is what gets your investors. That's what gets people to invest in your token, is having the information readily available there. It's not done, so it's still going to be a no, but they do have a CertiK audit that's in work. Is the price listed? No. Is the market cap listed? No. How to buy? No, but they have a link to PancakeSwap. What I'm looking for how to buy is actually walking the person through how to buy. And if you've watched my videos before, then you know that that's kind of what I'm looking for the how to buy button. Is it give you directions on how to get a wallet. If you don't have one, what do they recommend for a wallet? How PancakeSwap works, whether it's pictures or a video on how to buy the Crypter Token. Now, I apologize, I should have explained this. So their data is in CoinMarketCap, but it's so new that the API doesn't pull it down. That's why you see all these NAs up here. That's the reason why. There's no API data to pull into the system for it. So there's no audit score because it's currently not done. They have a roadmap, they have a white paper, current, unique, and yes for all. No problems. That, again, very minor stuff on the grammatical stuff. Some people in English majors would probably say that there's some errors here, but for the average person that's looking at it, there's nothing that's going to detract from the project. Development team is known? No. So development team is not known. Professional team, I went through their Twitter posts. There's about 100 or so tweets to go through. I did not go through their Telegram. I hate going through Telegram because it's impossible to figure out who's who anyway. And there's just so many bots every time I look at a Telegram for a website, so I really can't stand Telegram, and I'll continue to say that until I'm blue in the face. I just don't think it's the right medium for a professional website to use that as any kind of a resource, really. But I know a lot of people love Telegram, so more power to those people that like to see all those bots and all the hype that they generate. All right, so what is your use case? Token, no. Blockchain, no. NFTs. I meant to say token, yes. Blockchain, no. NFTs, no. Wallet, no. Exchange, no. Swap, no. Games, no. Software, yes, in the form of a social media hub. Country recognition and legal tender is no. They do obviously have the game that's in work. And there's some mention of NFTs, so potentially that as well. Holder strength, 7777, but it's so small in comparison to Bitcoin. That's why it registers as a 0. No Galaxy score to put in there. Dedicated YouTube channels, not really, but I gave them one. There was one that had 2 videos, so it's potentially going to be a dedicated channel. Twitter, yes, very recent, obviously with 100 tweets, and there's some good information on their Twitter feed. Discord, no, and that's pretty much it. So target audience. The reason why I went with 15 here is because social media has a tendency to bring in large groups from everywhere. Now, if the focus ends up being crypto, what is the size of the crypto community that might participate in their website? And that's the question you have to kind of gauge, because crypto is really not that big. It's grown significantly over the last year. The number of people that are investing in crypto has really skyrocketed because of COVID, or as a byproduct potentially of COVID. But I really kind of grappled with the idea of their target audience, just because social media generally has a really large target audience. I mean, look at Twitter. It's massive following on Twitter. Will Crypter be as big as Twitter or Facebook? I don't know. It's hard to predict. Will this develop into the primary source for everything crypto related? I don't know. Maybe. So I see it as potentially having a really large target audience. Are they targeting governments? Are they targeting schools? Are they targeting... They're not doing that. They're targeting social media specifically. And if you look at Shiba Inu, or you look at SafeMoon, or you look at Saitama, that's been a really strong strategy for a lot of tokens on other spaces. So building your own social media hub, it really does have a lot of potential, and it could potentially have a really large target audience. So I gave them 15. I'm still not ready to give it 20, but I could see it being just as big as, I mean, look at Telegram. Telegram's gotten pretty big for some reason, but it could be as big as any one of those, but focus more on crypto. But at the end, we get 103 out of 568 points, and it's a solid F Even a Galaxy score of 100 and a security audit might get them there, but to a higher level, probably a D. I don't think we're going to get into the C category. But a team that's not doxed, no security audit complete, you're really taking a high risk with this project if you invest in it. And I really do hope that it does well and everybody makes a ton of money that does actually invest in this project, but it's a high risk project. There are a lot of projects like this that have rug pulls or somehow manage to seem like a rug pull. So you really are taking a risk with this project, but it is a unique idea. It has the potential to be a big project. That's my fundamental analysis of the Crypter Token. Hopefully you enjoyed the content and hope you found this helpful for your decision on whether to invest in this project or monitor or not invest. It never hurts to monitor the project, and I will continue to monitor, and I'll try to provide some updates as big events start happening. If you like my content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications to get notified when I publish new content. At the end of this video, I'm going to have my little referral ad for BlockFi and Webull. If you haven't already opened an account for those two, you could potentially get up to $2,340 if you do, so I highly recommend you check out that video. Until next time, stay strong with those diamond hands. Crypto Newbie here to tell you how you can get $2,340 in free stocks. All the links I use in this video are in the description. Sign up for Webull and get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300. Your first stock is free automatically. Deposit any amount and you get your second stock. Deposit 1 penny and you get your second stock. Total value could be up to $2,300. Generally $5 per stock is what you get. Next we have BlockFi. Get $10 in Bitcoin just for signing up. But read the fine print. I've got a rewards account. You'll get $40 in Bitcoin, as will I. So you know exactly what I'm going to get and what you're going to get. You do need to deposit $100 to get your $40 in Bitcoin. That's the overview how to get $2,340 just by signing up for accounts.